Ever get that feeling like your brain's just full, but you still want to learn more?
Oh, definitely. Or you wish you could just learn faster, maybe. Make things actually, stick.
Yeah, exactly. Which brings us nicely to our deep dive today.
We're looking at a source that you, our listener, pointed us to, Jim Kwik's Limitless.
Right. And that title, Limitless, it kind of grabs you, doesn't it? This idea that maybe we've got more potential than we think.
Absolutely. And the fact you picked this suggests you're interested in exploring that, how to push past those self-imposed barriers.
So, our mission today, let's dig into Limitless and pull out the really practical stuff. Insights you can use right away for your own learning, your own growth.
We're going to wrestle with the big ideas, find those useful nuggets for you. Kwik breaks it down into three main parts: mindset, motivation, and methods.
And we'll hit all three, give you a good feel for his framework. Okay, let's start with mindset, where it all begins, apparently.
Yeah, Kwik defines mindset as, well, it's the deeply held beliefs, attitudes, and assumptions we create about who we are, how the world works, what we are capable of and deserve, and what is possible.
So it's like the filter we see everything through, what we think we can actually do.
Exactly. And he has this great analogy, the baby elephant.
Oh yeah, the one tied to the stake.
That's one. When it's small, it tries and tries, but it can't break free, so eventually...
But just gives up.
Right. And the sad part is, even when it's huge and strong enough to easily pull the stake out, it doesn't even try. It believes it's still stuck.
Wow. Makes you think, doesn't it? How many things are we not trying because of some old, outdated belief we picked up somewhere?
It's a really strong image for those invisible fences we build around ourselves.
Yeah.
Which leads into his idea about types of genius.
I liked this part. It's not just about being book smart.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He talks about 4 types. First, dynamo. That's the creative spark generating ideas. Think Shakespeare.
Okay. Ideas, people.
Then blaze. These are the connectors. Great with people, like Oprah.
Right, the people person genius.
Then tempo. This is about the big picture, the long view, staying the course. Nelson Mandela is his example.
Visionaries. Got it.
And finally, steel. These are the detail-oriented folks, the analysts, like Sergey Brin.
The ones who get into the weeds and make things work. Okay.
And the point is, intelligence isn't just one thing. It's diverse. Thinking about which of these might resonate with you. It's a different way to see your own strengths, right?
Yeah, it really broadens things. Okay, so if we have these limiting beliefs, maybe holding us back like that elephant, how do we change them? Kwik has steps for this.
He does. A 3-step process.
Yeah.
Step 1 is simple but crucial. Name your limiting belief.
Just say it. Put it into words.
Exactly. Drag it out into the light. Like maybe you realize, okay, I actually believe I'm terrible at remembering names. Just identifying it is the start.
Okay. Name it. Then what?
Step 2. Get to the facts. This is key. You look at the objective evidence, not just your feelings about it.
So not just that I feel bad at names, but what actually happened?
Right. Did everyone whose name you try to remember get forgotten? Did someone actually say you were bad at it? Or is this mostly your internal critic talking? Question the story.
Challenge that inner voice. Okay. Facts, not feelings. Makes sense. Step 3.
Create a new belief. You consciously reframe the old limiting thought into something more accurate, more positive, more growth-oriented.
So instead of I'm terrible at names,
Maybe shift it to something like, remembering names can be tricky, but I can use strategies and practice to get much better at it. See? It's not fixed. It opens the door to improvement.
yeah, it moves from a dead end to a possibility. That's good. It's like rewriting the internal script. And speaking of scripts, he talks about these 7 lies of learning.
Yes. These are common ideas that kind of trip us up. And for each lie, he gives you a new, more empowering belief.
Okay, let's run through them. Lie number 1.
Intelligence is fixed. The new belief. Intelligence can grow with effort. That's pure growth mindset stuff.
Love that. Okay, lie 2.
The old myth. We only use 10% of our brains. Kwik reframes it. We can learn to use our whole brain better. It's about how we use it, not some magic untapped part.
Right, more practical. Lie 3.
Mistakes are failures. The reframe is huge. Mistakes are learning opportunities. Changes everything about how you approach challenges.
That's a big one. Okay, flip
Knowledge is power. The update. Knowledge plus action, power. Knowing isn't enough. You got to do something with it.
that. The knowing-doing gap.
Number 5. Learning new things is very difficult. New belief. Learning how to learn makes it easier and more enjoyable, which is kind of what we're doing right now, right?
Exactly, giving you those tools. Okay, 6.
The criticism of other people matters. The reframe is about inner strength. Self-acceptance and self-respect are key. Focus inward.
Powerful. And the last one, number 7.
Genius is born. The truth. Genius is developed through deep practice. It's about effort, dedication, not just innate talent.
These are really good. Just shifting those core beliefs could make a huge difference. Okay, that covers mindset. Let's move to the second pillar, motivation.
Right. Because you can believe you can learn, but you still need the drive, the engine to actually do it.
Especially when it gets tough. So how does Kwik define motivation?
He calls it the purpose one has for taking action. The energy required for someone to behavior in a particular way. It's the why and the oomph behind what we do.
The why and the oomph. I like that. And like mindset, there are myths about motivation too.
Yeah, he has the 3 lies about motivation. First one, motivation is fixed. The truth, motivation can be increased. It's not static, you can build it.
Good to know. Second lie.
You have to enjoy something to be motivated to it. The truth is a bit more nuanced. A strong enough reason, purpose, is sufficient. Your why can carry you through stuff you don't love.
Okay, so purpose trumps enjoyment sometimes. What's the third lie?
Motivation is something you either have or don't have. The truth, motivation can be created. It's not magic. You can generate it.
So how do we create it? Does he give us a recipe?
He does. The formula for motivation. Motivation, purpose X, energy X, small, simple steps.
Purpose times energy times small, simple steps.
Okay, let's break that down. Purpose first.
This is huge for Kwik. You need to get really clear on why you're doing something. He says, ask yourself, why must I do this?
That word must feels important, like it's not optional.
Exactly. It raises the stakes. He also makes a useful distinction between passion things you love, you might have many, and purpose. Purpose is using that passion to serve something bigger than yourself.
Like his passion for learning turned into a purpose to teach others.
Precisely. And finding purpose often connects back to your core values, what really matters to you. Kwik shares his love, growth, contribution, adventure when your actions line up with your values.
Motivation flows naturally.
That's the idea. It feels authentic. He also points out how much feelings drive us wanting pleasure, avoiding pain, hope, fear, fitting in.
Right. Those basic human drivers. And he has this exercise. List all the downsides of not doing the thing. Really feel them. Then list all the benefits of doing it and really feel those.
Making the future consequences feel real right now
Yeah.
to fuel the present action. Okay, got purpose. Next in the formula is energy.
Crucial. Best purpose in the world doesn't help if you're exhausted. So managing your energy is key. Diet is a big one.
He lists his top 10 brain foods, right?
Yeah.
Avocados, blueberries.
Yep. Broccoli, dark chocolate, eggs, leafy greens, salmon, turmeric, walnuts, water. Good list.
Now, we should probably mention some other sources we looked at had slightly different takes, right? Like on eggs, or maybe going easy on avocados and walnuts for some people.
That's a fair point. Nutrition advice can vary. It's good to be aware of different perspectives. But the core idea, eating well for brain energy, is solid.
Okay, beyond diet.
Exercise.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be intense. Kwik says even 10 minutes of aerobic activity helps memory and thinking.
Just getting the blood flowing.
Yeah.
What else?
Your environment, both physical clutter and, interestingly, air quality. And your peer group who you hang out with, Jim Rohn's quote about being the average of the 5 people.
Yeah, their energy rubs off, for better or worse.
Definitely. And finally, the big one, sleep. Quality sleep is non-negotiable for energy and brain function. He notes exercise and mindfulness can help improve it.
Okay, so purpose, energy, the last part of the formula.
Small, simple steps, or SSS, as he calls them.
Why small steps?
Because big, daunting tasks trigger procrastination. A small, simple step is the tiniest action you can take to get you closer to your goal. Almost too small to resist.
Like that example of writing a tough email. Just sit down first, then open the program, then click new.
Exactly. It breaks the inertia. Once you start, even tiny, there's this natural pull to continue to finish the loop.
Reduce that mental tension of the unfinished task. Okay, that makes sense. And sometimes when you're working like that, you hit that state of
Flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kwik talks about that. That feeling of being totally immersed. Time flies. It feels almost effortless, super focused.
it's the best feeling when you're working on something.
Totally. And achieving it makes you want it again, so it boosts motivation. He mentions 4 stages. Usually a struggle first, then relaxation, then flow itself, then consolidation. Sometimes a bit of a dip afterwards, too.
And how do we get into flow more often?
Key things. Eliminate distractions. Give yourself enough time, like 90 minutes plus. Do something you actually care about, and have clear goals for the session.
Okay, mindset motivation. Now for the third M, methods, the how-to.
Exactly. The specific processes. Quick defines it as a specific process for accomplishing something, especially an orderly, logical, or systematic way of instruction. This is where we get into the techniques, starting with focus.
Focus seems foundational. He uses the magnifying glass analogy.
Right. Concentrated attention makes a huge difference. And the good news is, it's trainable, like directing a beam of light.
How do we train it, especially when the mind is racing?
He suggests things like 4-7-8 breathing to calm the nervous system, tackling the source of the stress if possible, or even scheduling time for your worries or distractions. Contain them.
Schedule worry time. Interesting. Okay, so after focus comes study, how to actually learn stuff effectively.
Yeah, because time is limited. We need
Yeah.
smart strategies. A huge one is active recall versus just passive recognition.
So not just rereading notes.
No. Close the book, hide the notes, and actively try to pull the information out of your own head. Test yourself. That retrieval practice is what makes it stick. Way better than just seeing it and thinking, oh yeah, I know that.
Right, forces the brain to work. What else?
Spaced repetition instead of cramming. Reviewing material over time at increasing intervals. He suggests like morning and evening for 4 days before a test, for example. Much better for long-term memory.
Makes sense. Anything else for studying?
He mentions your mental state being focused, and even enthusiastic helps, like sit up, lean in. Also, linking a specific smell to your study sessions can aid recall later. And music, specifically Baroque, around 50-80 beats per minute.
Baroque music.
Okay.
And note-taking.
He recommends a capture and create method. One side of the page for capturing what's said, the other side for your thoughts, how you'll use it, why it matters, when it applies. Makes it active, not passive.
Okay, capture and create. Good tip. Next up, memory. Everyone wants a better memory.
Quick uses the acronym MOM. Motivation, you need a reason to remember. Observation, pay attention in the first place. And method, using specific techniques.
And what are some of those methods?
Visualization is key, creating vivid, maybe weird mental images. Association, linking new info to something you already know. Adding emotion, making it funny, exciting, dramatic. Creating a story, linking items in a sequence.
Like that hydrant, balloons, and batteries example for the periodic table.
Exactly. Uses visualization, association, emotion, all woven into a narrative. And then there's the loci method, the memory palace.
Where you place items you want to remember in familiar locations in your mind, like rooms in your house.
That's it. And you can reuse that mental space again and again for different lists. Really
Yeah.
powerful.
Cool. Okay, after memory. Speed reading. Seems essential now with so much information.
Totally. He argues it actually helps the brain, makes it more active. The two big hurdles are regression rereading stuff and subvocalization, that voice in your head saying the words.
And people worry they won't understand if they read too fast.
Right, but Kwik says with better focus, comprehension should actually increase. Like driving faster on a highway, you have to focus more.
Okay, so how do we speed up and stay focused?
Use a visual pacer, your finger or a pen. Push yourself to read faster than comfortable, then settle back slightly. Try to reduce subvocalization, maybe by counting silently while reading. Expand your peripheral vision to see word groups. Read in short bursts, like 20 minutes, then take a break. And position the book correctly.
Tell me more about reducing that inner voice, subvocalization.
The goal is to see the meaning, the images, the story directly from the words without having to say them in your head. Counting is one trick to occupy that inner voice while you practice seeing.
And expanding peripheral vision, taking in chunks of words.
Yeah, instead of reading word by word, you train your eyes to grab groups of 3 to 5 words at a glance. Takes practice.
Okay, lots of methods there. The final category is thinking. Going beyond just absorbing info.
Right. Elevating how we think. Kwik quotes Einstein. We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them, so we need new mental models.
What kind of models does he suggest?
6 thinking hats is one. Looking at a problem from different angles, facts, optimism, caution, emotion, creativity, process. Also thinking about the 8 forms of intelligence, spatial, kinesthetic, musical, etc., and approaching problems using different ones.
Using your different intelligences. Cool.
What else? Thinking about the 3 learning styles, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, can spark creativity. The 40-70 rule for decisions: don't act with less than 40% info. Don't wait past 70%.
Finding that sweet spot for deciding.
Exactly. And not-to-do lists, identifying what not to do to protect your focus. Really powerful.
Like don't check email first thing.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yep. Also, studying errors methodically. What happened? Why? How to prevent it. Second order thinking. asking, and then what, to see long-term effects.
Considering the ripples.
Right. And finally, exponential thinking. Instead of aiming for 10% better, ask how you can make it 10 times different. Really forces creative leaps, like that Tim Ferriss point about asking bigger, almost absurd questions.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot of ground we covered. Mindset, motivation, methods from Limitless.
It really is a comprehensive framework. And the key thing is, these are actionable strategies, things you can actually start trying out.
Yeah, not just theory. Practical tools to break through those limits we might feel, boost learning, reach goals.
It's about understanding you can grow, finding your drive, and then using the right techniques,
Gosh.
cultivating that potential.
So maybe a final thought for you, our listener, to take away. Considering all those methods, especially the memory techniques, visualization, association, think about one specific thing you're trying to learn right now.
Yeah, piece of info, maybe a skill. How could you consciously pick one of those memory methods, like creating a story or using visualization, to really make it stick this time?
Give it a try. Experiment. See what works for you.
Absolutely, because your
As
ability to
her.
learn and grow really is, well, pretty remarkable.